They hopped on a train and they rode it to rest. Tried to explain and unload off my chest, but it causes great pains to cope with this mess, and it's hard to maintain. Let us hope for the best. Let us live through the strain. I'm exposing my flesh. Man, how can I explain how bad I miss the falling? Well, perhaps this is my calling, and as my wrist goes a-scrawling, there's loved ones that are bawling. Above raindrops are falling, 'cause the pain stops when God's calling. So, hello, are you listening? Can you feel the rain? The stars are glistening, they'll help you deal with the pain in this plane of insane sadness, madness that just may pass the fastest. It's your memories that may fill you and matter the most, and our energies may continue to travel the coast. How long shall we have to battle these ghosts? Lord, are you listening? I want my companions back. The lost smiles that were supposed to remain part of this tainted universe. Friends and family riding the great chariot skyward. I send my love in your wake. I fill my lungs with air we drank together, so as once again we shall truly drink as one. For the stars are harboring your soul, and I'm surrendering my love to the heavens. And as we get older, I will see your smiles again. For though you succumb to the will of the sky, you're never forgotten, your spirits still fly. Your friendly faces still amazes the memory banks, and make no mistake, at these heavenly gates, our brothers and sisters awaits. And when that day comes, I'll thank the sun and run into the arms of a loved one. These arms that needed rest, released from this heavy trigger. These immortal souls inhabiting every angle of the triumphant trees, every dimension of this blue canvas surrounding our eyes. Our friends, painting the sky with the cosmic brush, the strokes of our family, never lost, never forgotten, masterpieces of life. For we shall take no moment for granted. We'll grab it and hold it till we're not standing. For every action has a reaction, and an action taken like smashing and breaking is just a reaction waiting to happen. Back off on the hatred, breaking the back of the nation, and bask in the sensation of life. Lord, are you listening? I want my companions back. I'll do one more for you guys. Sorry, just 1 second here. The moon has lit a black sky, and the stars have seemed to have found a way in. A robot of one. Solitary man-made innocence, so it's called Elijah. Eyes of those who would have thought they were lighthouses. A beacon for something Elijah cannot yet comprehend. Birthed by those who could not yet understand even themselves, let alone artificial naivety. But the stars were in. And for this pure unknowing robot it knew beauty, and at this moment he communicated with the stars, and the moon tuned in to listen as Elijah learned the colors of the sky. 1 by 1, 6 million by 7 million, every light in the darkened sky illuminated into this machine's only motherboard. For his motherboard began to instill her motherly instincts, and his data chips receded slowly back to their banks. He thanks the wind for its touch and is in a fetal robot phase. Scans for intelligence cannot find that for which he yearns. But download the beauty of the shoreline for further reference in case this is what he perceives as the meaning to his incandescent eyes. Elijah, not only pure innocence, but more perhaps the only true being on this planet, no existing, pre-organized tainting of character. We stop as our robot calculates an infant smile and registers the signals of truth. The forests have come undone and have been placed inside bottles destined for better shores. Elijah is. Robot now overloading with misunderstanding, rooting from lack of understanding. No predetermined answers to be found in any aspect of this funny place. Organisms with no sense of gratitude for the moon. There should be no moonlight without sun, for Elijah knows the balance to be had by the deliverance of patience, but yet these beings rush to simultaneously shun one another and give birth to impatient greed. Our mechanized man is now lost in the sea of flesh. We awake now as Elijah adjusts his light ratios so as to allow for the inhalation of the sun. Our bat has refueled the night away with his steel back pressed firmly to the sands of the whispering sea, and arises with a sense of renewed hardware. Watch as he begins to catalogue the cresting wave's trajectory towards land, and apply his hard drive to ponder if that is the direction of his life. Crashed, shores flesh and bone. No direction except for what he believes the matrix in the clouds. Certain heaven-type domain for those of the circuitry. The sand allows his metallic feet to slide in pneumatic movements over its face. For let us pause now for a quick lube job and tightening of the soul. We shall be on our way. Our manufactured man now stands under the canopy of the belief that he has a purpose. A purpose more important than downloading data into his lonely heart. Perhaps he is low on fuel cells, or perhaps he is processing his dreams from the banks of circuits that are his memories. But either way, our bot seems tired, like an old model computer that gets tossed to the gods. He feels technology of man has not surpassed their ability to transmit civil speech without firing metallic orbs raining loss of life. My, do we have a lot to learn. He captures the sound of life in his ports. Now every atom in his skin knows what it's like to be alive. There is a spontaneous reaction of electronic wires and data-filled knowledge that fills the sky. Let us allow these transmissions to take place, and we shall return again with a new day in our eyes. The gears have turned on another page, and so we begin again. Refraining from the shoreline, we now find fresh landscapes, as Elijah is hidden away among the neighborhood of the trees, dwelling of the leaves, housing of the blooms, to a place where this droid resides on a river's bed, where no short circuit is thought to take place. Antennae adapting to the changing of the leaves, and though these small changelings would rather not leave the nest, Elijah would rather not leave the glowing shelter of this fading forest, back to where all the machinery communicates in beastly tones. The smokestacks telling the sky her time is becoming slim and precious, whereas the AI considered the sky precious from the beginning of his electronic eyes. If these trees could talk, they would speak of the days when they were not rooted in the soils of the earth, but roamed free, spreading their knowledge of life, cleverly disguised as shade. But these trees do not speak. This is just our bot toying with his switches and circuit boards. There is a slanting shaft of sun that casts reflection off his domed head that sparks a small sparrow at the head of a giant elm, and Elijah can't help but wonder how he too can become friends with these wondrous trees. These beautiful beings of wood, seemingly so possessive of a contentment to just live, allow all others to live also. Beings of bone fall victim to their own arid ways, no longer content with even themselves. He could whittle the rest of his days in the slightest inkling of the trees welcoming his presence among their numbers. But for now, he is content in the knowledge that his backup cells are in reserves, and no longer necessarily needed, for he now fuels from the breath of these lungs of the earth. Progress on hold for a moment, as we allow for oiled tears summoned from the godlike beauty of this forest that remains no longer. For this forest also has come undone. Thank you for your attention.